there to everybody. This is Michael out in Maui, Aloha. So if you've been enjoying all the content that I've been putting out, I recommend subscribing to the channel. By subscribing, you'll be notified every single time a new video comes out. So today, I wanted to talk about starting to dial everything in from learning how to throw harder. In the first video, I talked about just throwing harder. You got to learn how to throw harder. But to learn to throw harder, you're going to become, inaccurate. You're not going to be accurate. You don't really care about accuracy if you're learning to throw harder, because accuracy comes after you've learned how to throw farther. So once you've put in your time and you've learned how to throw however hard you're wanting to throw, if you've hit whatever number you're at, and you're kind of there, now you want to start dialing it all in. And now, when you throw the disc, you got to start thinking about, keeping your body positioning to make that throw. When I'm first learning to throw as far as I can, I don't care about anything that my body's doing. All I care about is how fast can I pull the arm from here to the release. That's it. I don't care if my head comes up. I don't care if I stand up. None of that matters, because all you're trying to learn is how fast to rotate, this faster. That's all you're trying to do. But once you get to that point where it's good, you're throwing hard, now you got to start trying to dial it in, so you're more accurate. To do this, you just got to start changing your focus some. Instead of thinking hard, as hard as I can do this, you need to start focusing on, your setup. So now when you run in, bent legs, head on top, the lean of the torso, you got to kind of start thinking of that stuff. So when you set up to throw, you're going to properly set yourself up to make the throw, and then come in and start throwing, hard. Because when you're throwing hard, you're probably going to come out of your throw, straighten up too much, because you're just trying to throw as hard as you can. So you might straighten. So you got to learn how to stay down with the throw now. So you just kind of back off on how far you can throw, back off a little bit so you gain control. And like I said, set yourself up, bent legs, head on top, and then throw from here. And you really, you just got to start concentrating on, the body positioning. And then when you throw the disc, you can analyze the flight to make other adjustments. So you run in, you got to get your body set up. And if you throw it and you pull the disc to the right, you got to be able to analyze those things and then stop doing them, when you throw. I mean, at this stage of the game, you should know how to fix a grip lock. You should know how to fix an, early release, nose up. As soon as you throw the disc, you should be able to click in your head and you know what you did. So the next time you know how to correct the body to not do that. The other big things about throwing hard and trying to get more distance is you really got to pay attention to the disc you're throwing and the weight of the disc. Not everybody's going to throw a max weight 175 disc, but it can hinder you trying to throw a max weight 175 disc. So, you got to kind of pay attention to the disc and the weight. Like if you're throwing, max distance is, maybe you're maxing out at 300 feet. You know, maybe that's a 165 disc. You know, and then if you're able to push over 300, maybe that's a 170. If you could push over 350 feet, 400, you know, max weight 175. But you know, you just don't want to go buy a max weight disc if you're not throwing, you know, like I said, that distance. So you got to pay attention to your disc, you know, and the weight of the disc. And it really just comes down to putting in the work. Like I said, I mean, I spent hours of throwing to learn to throw over 400 feet. I mean, I would sit on the field 5 hours of just throwing. I'd throw all day, you know, just because I wanted to learn to throw 400 feet. Because there's so many small things that need to happen to throw far. You know, you need to be really accurate with your body positioning, back angle, you know, the release and the hit. You know, all that has to come together for a max throw. And the only way to get yourself, you know, all together is practicing. You got to continually practice. You know, you got to put hours and hours and hours in to get there. But that's really all it is, I guess, to throwing farther. I mean, like I said, it's just practicing throwing as hard as you can, and then making sure you buy the proper weight discs for your arm, and then just throw. So anyways, this is Michael out in Maui. Aloha.